to the Sideline. We actually have a name now,
We do.
finally. Takes like 3 weeks to figure one out. We have one. Welcome back to the Sideline. My name is Rishi Oza.
My name is Asher Hire.
And today we're just going to be recapping some of the games, just talking about some of the bigger storylines that happened over the last week. First off, I apologize about my appearance back here. I didn't get ready at all. Also, sorry about my voice. I'm a little sick, a little under the weather. It's why we're not in a normal studio here. But yeah, first off, I just want to talk about some of the injuries that happened, just to get that out of the way, because there were a lot of them. And it was just so unusual because I have, like on Twitter, I have both Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport's like tweet notifications on. And I
Yeah.
swear, when I was watching the Broncos game, like every 5 minutes, there would be a notification like, oh, this guy got hurt, this guy got hurt, this guy got hurt. It was ridiculous. I'm just going to list off some of the names, like just the bigger names of people who got hurt. So Andy Dalton, Bradley Chubb, Josie Jewell, Carson Wentz, Jarvis Landry, Tua Tagovailoa, Brandon Graham, Brandon Brooks, Darrell Henderson, T.J. Watt, Tyrod Taylor, and Alex Leatherwood. And a lot of those were serious injuries. Like Bradley Chubb is a lingering injury that he's had, but Andy Dalton, it was very close to being a serious injury. Carson Wentz sprained both of his ankles somehow. I don't know how that's possible. Jarvis Landry, I think he might be getting put on IR. Josie Jewell is out for the season. Brendan Graham tore his Achilles. TJ Watt, they don't really know, but they think it's pretty bad. Tyrod Taylor is going to be out for like a month. Like these are all big name players, Pro Bowl players who are going to be out for a long time. And I just wanted to get that out the way because that was a huge thing to me. Like so many players got hurt.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And I want to apologize for my setup. My light is I don't really know what to do to fix this, but it's kind of weird. But yeah, I mean, like it is crazy. Like last year, the injury bug was insane as well. But we all assumed that was because like, oh, there was no preseason, no training camp, nothing to get these players warmed up. Um, and then we see it again now this year, and it's
Yeah.
just it's crazy to me. All these big names too, and we don't know if Bradley Chubb. If I mean, I don't. He re-aggravated his ankle, but does that mean he's gonna be week to week again, or does
Yeah.
that mean we're gonna like put him on the IR for a little bit? So,
Yeah.
uh,
That's especially with the Broncos hard. I mean, because we had Jerry Judy last week. He had a pretty serious injury. He dodged a bullet because it could have been even worse, but he had a pretty bad injury. Ronald Darby's going to be out for a little bit. Uh, Graham Glasgow literally almost like died. Like he had to go to the hospital because his heartbeat
yeah.
was like acting up and stuff. So he was out. Like just so many crazy things happening injury wise. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's get into the games now. Rams Colts. Rams. They're both our pick to get out of the NFC, win the NFC. But they definitely look pretty vulnerable. They only won 27 to 24. Carson Wentz didn't look great, but I think if he had stayed healthy for that last drive, they probably could have gotten in position for a field goal instead of throwing a rookie like Jacob Eason out there. What did you see out of the Rams and the Colts?
I really didn't watch too much of the game. I just watched the highlights. I mean, Cooper Kupp is really impressive. I think he's one of the most. I mean, definitely one of the most. He's always been one of the most underrated players in the league. The Colts defense. I mean, both these teams, even though it was 27-24, both these teams' defenses are good. I hope Carson Wentz is good. We'll see. We'll see if he gets back to like his form. I know he didn't really play that well, but he has those throws where it's like, wow, like this
Yeah,
guy can definitely go back to what he was like with in 2017, um winning MVP or whatever.
yeah.
Um
Yeah,
so yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
just gonna ask you, like, do you think that we're ever gonna be able to see that version of Carson Wentz again? I mean, because it's been a while. He had that in 2019, I believe, when the Eagles won the division. Like, he had a pretty good year, but last year he really
yeah.
didn't look good. And I know it's only been 2 games, but he hasn't really been too impressive.
Yeah, I mean he's got the talent. It's just these injuries just keep popping up. Like you said in the beginning, like he sprained both ankles. Like how does that even happen?
Yeah,
It just seems like he's really unlucky with these injuries and just yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna see him get back to his MVP form. But he kind of reminds me of like Drew Lock a little bit too. How they just have insane arms. Wentz obviously
yeah.
has had more success in the NFL than Drew Lock has.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's got all the arm talent. It's just he's still pretty like aggressive and kind of Like
Yeah.
why did you throw that there?
Yeah. And I really wanted him to go to the Colts because in that 2017 season, his offensive coordinator was Frank Reich, who now is the head coach of the Colts. So I wanted him to go there just so he could have some familiarity and really be able to like be himself again and play within a system that helps him. And yeah, like I said, it's only been 2 games, so there's definitely time for it to work. But they don't know if he's gonna play next Sunday. I doubt he will because he sprained both of his ankles. Like how is he gonna? They've really surprised me. And it's really just been on the arm of Derek Carr. I mean, like you said, he's leading the league in passing yards. In the last game against the Ravens, he targeted Darren Waller literally 20 times. But this game, he spread around his targets a lot more, and I think that was definitely part of the scheme that John Gruden had. In this game, 4 players had 5 catches, and then a couple players had 2, a couple players had 3. Spread the ball around. He was 28 of 37, 382 yards, 2 touchdowns. Henry Ruggs kind of had his breakout game, which I know a lot of fans are looking for that. He had 113 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, this is really, really good game for the Raiders all around. Their defense looked pretty good. Like I was definitely not expecting this kind of start for them because while the Steelers, yeah, they are. I think all of us kind of knew that them going on that 11-0 run last year wasn't. I don't know. I don't want to say real because they were a good team, but it wasn't as legit as some of the other teams that have started off that good. But they're still a good team. Like they're still a pretty good team. They're still going to be in contention for a playoff spot, if not the division lead. And he really diced up that defense. And I think it's very, very impressive start for the Ravens.
It is, and the Steelers' offense just looks horrible again. Last year was just horrible. Like, yeah, they went 11-0, like you said, but it's just these like dink and dunk things that teams eventually figured out. And this offense so far, I don't think has been as dink and dunk. They've had some deep throws to Chase Claypool. He could have come down with one in that game. But yeah, I mean, it's just it looks good in the box score, I guess. But man, it's just bad.
It's just really, really weird. And I think a lot of it has to do with their lack of a run game. Leading rusher was Najee Harris. He had 10 carries for 38 yards. And like he had a really cool play actually. Like he just stiff arm Jonathan Abram out of the way. Like I'm not saying that Najee Harris is bad. Najee Harris is a really good player and he's a really good running back, but the Steelers' offensive line has to do a better job of just creating holes for them because without a run game, you're gonna have to rely on 36, 37-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, whose athleticism is all kind of snappy. He's not nearly as mobile as he used to be, and I don't think that's gonna be a recipe for success. So he's still gonna be able to get the ball down the field, but he's not nearly as big playability as he was even a couple years ago. So they really need to get a better run game, and I think without that offense is really going to hold back their team because their defense is still pretty elite in my opinion. I think their defense is still really good, but that offense has to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, and hopefully T.J. Watt is good too, injury wise, because if he's out, that's a huge loss, obviously.
Yeah, I honestly think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year over Aaron Donald. He's insane. It's crazy how both the Watts are like two of the most dominant players in their prime. So that's kind of insane. But yeah, hopefully he's okay because that's a huge blow for them.
Sure. Another game, kind of hometown game for us since we're in Arizona, the Vikings-Cardinals. This was just an insane game. The Vikings, the kicker curse strikes again.
Yeah.
For them, they can just never get that position right, especially at the end of the games. It's crazy, and Kyler Murray just looks amazing for the Cardinals right now. He had a couple, just bad picks. I think he had a pick or two in the first game, too, and he makes these crazy plays where he's just scrambling around in the pocket. Like it's so wild how he runs to me. Like he's just like a little like jitterbug.
Yeah,
back there.
I think it's insane that people were kind of when he was coming out in the draft process, everyone was like, "Oh, will he be good or will he not?" because of his size. But I think if you're able to be that good in college, I don't think your size is going to matter. And I think he's proven that. Like he is ridiculous. He's so fast and it's impossible to sack him. because
Yeah.
he's got great pocket awareness and he's so quick and agile. He's able to dip in and out of tackles, and his arm strength is insane. I mean, the one play to Moore, the rookie, I forgot his first name, but Demani Moore. He like Kyler Murray was rolling to his left with pressure on him. It was kind of like that Hail Mary he threw last year.
Yeah.
Rolling to his left, he's able to set his feet and throw a dime like 40, 50 yards down the field. And that's arm strength you're not going to be able to find like in many, many quarterbacks. He's insane. Right now, he's my pick for MVP. I don't know. I think that Derek Carr has probably inserted himself in that conversation.
I think I would go with Carr right now just because of the turnovers. But Kyler Murray is probably like more talented quarterback there.
Yeah, I mean he's just had an insane start to the season. But the Vikings, man, like that we talked about them last year. We really don't know what the problem is. Like they're just like cursed. Like I don't know what else to say. Like they should have won this game.
Yeah.
They're up big early. They had a really good start. Like first play on offense was like a 75-yard touchdown. And then Adam Thielen had a couple of touchdowns. Like
their offense looked good. It's just I don't know what it is. At the end of the games, their defense folds and their
play calling, box stuff, everything. It's so weird.
Obviously. I also wanted to say another thing about Kyler Murray that I'm looking forward to is kind of like at the beginning of last season, he was kind of looking like this too. It's like, damn, Kyler Murray is so good. Like, is he a top 5 quarterback and stuff like that? And the Cardinals were rolling in the beginning of the year, and then they just kind of faded. And it's like Cliff Kingsbury, his offense wasn't very good towards the end of the season, and some people are calling for him to get fired. So we'll just see if this offense keeps rolling, if Kyler Murray keeps rolling. I think Kyler Murray can. I'm just more scared about Cliff Kingsbury's offense. It looks better this year so far.
It definitely looks more consistent. And you are right that Kyler Murray did look really, really good last season. The Cardinals in general look really, really good. But then they definitely slowed down towards the end. So I do also want to see that type of consistency, because being able to see Kyler Murray in the playoffs would be very entertaining, because there's a lot of good teams in the NFC that the Cardinals can make some noise with. And then also another side note, Gus Johnson and Aqib Talib were calling this game, and I just want to say that Gus Johnson needs to be calling NFL games as much as possible. Like I already know that he's doing college and does a great job with that, but him in the NFL is just so much better. He's absolutely electric, and I just wanted to bring attention to that. He's just insane.
I don't think he's announced NFL games like the past couple of years, right?
Yeah, I saw something. He hasn't announced it since 2014. This is the first time in a while.
Wow.
He did.
He's so good. He makes the game so fun to watch. And like I just remember as a Broncos fan, like Broncos Bengals.
Yeah.
His call. There was a Kyle Orton threw it up to Brandon Stokely on the left sideline, and he was like, Stokely. Like it bounced off the defender and into Stokely's hands, and he ran it in for the touchdown.
That play is burned into my brain because that's one of the first Broncos plays I remember. It's made more memorable just because of Gus Johnson's voice.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs to be out there as much as possible.
Yeah,
I just needed to bring attention to that. Another game that we kind of thought was a very, very good game was Titans and Seahawks. This is probably one of the better wins you're going to see from a team all year, because going on the road in Seattle, which we all know is just a crazy atmosphere with the 12th man and all that, and coming off of a really, really bad loss to Arizona, Titans could have just laid down. They're down 15. Like Seattle had all the momentum. They could have stayed down, but they really fought back, and they're eventually able to win this game. And it was completely on the back of Derrick Henry, because he just had an insane game. He was really, really bad in the first half. And in the second half, he just absolutely came to life.
Yeah. I mean, he was bad in the first game too. Well, I shouldn't say he was bad. It's more the
team.
Like, he kind of needs his offensive line to create a hole for him to get going. Because once he gets going, he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Once he gets those legs turning. So, and I liked how the Titans stuck to the run game, even though they were down double digits. And I think that's the Titans are still pretty dangerous. I don't think they're as like good of a team as they were last year or 2 years ago. Because their defense is just abysmal right now.
Yeah, their defense is not very good.
Yeah. The Seahawks look pretty good, even though they lost this game. I think Russell Wilson's back on that, like looking like the greatest quarterback of all time in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett too. It seems like he always gets off to a great start.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, both teams are kind of. I feel like both teams are kind of in the same spot, like just good offense, questionable defense. We'll see. I still think the Seahawks are probably the better team here, but
I do too. I think Seahawks are definitely better.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with Russell Wilson. I think, at least to me, I think Russell Wilson he's on a different level than Ryan Tannehill. But I also want to bring some attention to Bobby Wagner. I think he had 17 tackles in this game. He's insane. I think he should still be mentioned with guys like I know Fred Warner is really talked about as one of the more dynamic linebackers in the game today. I think Bobby Wagner still has to be at like the top of the list.
Yeah, Roquan Smith is up there.
Yeah, Roquan Smith. Yeah, he had a pick six today or yesterday, I guess. There's a lot of dynamic linebackers in the league. A lot of guys who are still like crazy athletic and who could play multiple positions. I think Bobby Wagner is still top of the top. He is insane. His knowledge of the game and knowing where to go, whether it's a run, how to plug which hole, and if it's a pass, which coverage to be in, and being able to just make the tackle before a receiver can get anywhere. It's insane. But yeah, I just wanted to bring attention to that.
Yeah.
Nothing about this game I think should be concerning for either team, because Tennessee being able to win, like a win is a win. You're not going to take many bad things away from a win, especially one when you're down 15. And just the fact that Seattle had a big lead, that's the only thing. But their defenses both are the biggest, I guess, issues.
Yeah, and Seattle's kind of done this thing in the past, haven't they? Where it's like they've got this big lead and then they just choke it away. Their defense can't get a stop.
Yeah.
Somehow Russell Wilson, they go like 3-and-out one drive, and then all of a sudden it's like 14 points back to back in like the span of like 4 minutes for the other team.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the Seahawks. I don't think they're a good team. I just don't know if their defense is going to be able to.
Yeah. I think that in the grand scheme of the NFC West, I think Seahawks are probably at the bottom. And that's not an insult. The NFC West is loaded. But I think they're probably the worst team there right now. I think they're slightly below Arizona, but I think 49ers and the Rams are at the top of that.
No, we'll see. I mean,
it has only been 2 games, but just
over the course of the season.
Yeah, over the course of the season, there's so many things. But just from what I've seen and just taking away things from last year, I think that's just my early assessment of it.
Yeah. And then the final game we wanted to talk about in depth here is the Sunday night game between the Chiefs and the Ravens. This was a great game. The Chiefs should have won the game until the Ravens made the big play to force a fumble. This was Patrick Mahomes' first loss in September in his career. His first interception in September in his career was thrown this game as well. Lamar was amazing. I think even though he threw those 2 interceptions, I don't think the first one was really his fault. Sammy Watkins kind of fell off. He slipped and fell off the route, and it looked bad because it looked like he just threw it straight to Tyrann Mathieu. And the second pick was his fault.
Yeah.
Really. He threw into like triple coverage. Tyrann Mathieu read it all the way. But yeah, Lamar, the Ravens' whole run game, his running.
Their run game it's insane. Like they lost their top 3 running backs. They had to get Devontae Freeman and Latavius Murray off the street, and they still ran for over 200 yards. That scheme with Lamar Jackson in there and that offensive line, you had to give them it's an insane amount of credit.
And I think Lamar's throwing is still underrated. Like, I know people like joke around saying like, oh, he's a running back or whatever. And I know that's a joke, but it's like, I mean, he's a good passer now.
He is. I think he's definitely underrated as a passer. Even Patrick Mahomes said it before the game. His running, his legs are his best asset. And everyone knows that. The team knows that. He knows that's why the rushing attack is so good. But his arm is what makes him go from just a good quarterback who has great legs, to a great quarterback, an elite level quarterback. Because like that jump pass that he threw to Hollywood Brown, like that's a play that you just don't see often. It's a play that you don't see from a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's insane.
Yeah.
You wrote on this. Both the Chiefs and the Ravens defenses are concerning. I could not agree more. The Chiefs defense looks god awful.
It looks bad. I know they moved Chris Jones from defensive tackle to defensive end this year. And I mean, he just hasn't looked as dominant defensive end. I know he's got to like learn the defensive end position more, and he'll probably be really good soon. But yeah, I mean, the Chiefs defense just they always allow so many yards. Usually they can kind of keep the number one option from a team like in check. Like I know they kept Derrick Henry in check that one playoff game.
Yeah.
And usually they do a good job with that, but it's just like, man, same.
I mean, normally they have a really, really good scheme around it. But I think people are starting to be able to figure out it a little more and a little more every single season. Because like even like Broncos didn't end up winning the game, but last year that Sunday night game, like it looked like the Broncos had been able to figure out a scheme at least that seemed to work, and it revolved around the running game. Like if you can get a running game going against the Chiefs, you're gonna have a really good chance at winning that game, and that's obviously what the Ravens did. They had a crazy good game on the ground.
Yeah, and then on the Ravens side for defense, it's just they can't force any pressure. I know the first week they kept bringing the house every single week. Like they have a linebacker blitz or a safety blitz, or they send like two safeties after the quarterback. But if they're not blitzing, they can't generate any pressure whatsoever. Marlon Humphrey really is the only good defensive back on that team.
Yeah.
And it's rough. The Raiders tore him up for 33 points. Especially towards the end of that game. They couldn't stop the Raiders, and then
a lot of it has to do with Marcus Peters going down with his injury. Like the Ravens just in general, they're so beat up. And I'm pretty sure they had another cornerback, like Marcus Peters' replacement. He had an injury. So they have a bunch of rookies in there. And that's why their defense is bad. They're just so banged up. But unfortunately, that's just the card that they've been dealt, and it's not good. Their defense has not looked great.
But to their credit, they made the big play at the end of the game.
They did.
Their rookie, Odafe Away, used to be Jason Away. And he kind of changed his name or whatever. But he's looked really good. He's looked like a freak. I know people were complaining like, oh my God, he didn't have a single sack in college. Why are we drafting him? And now you see why. Like his talent is popping off right now.
I'm very glad that the primetime games have been good.
Oh yeah.
There was a big deal over the last couple of years where the primetime games were bad. Like every primetime game was just bad. Like the matchups didn't make sense. But obviously like the Washington and Giants game, that was really, really good.
Other than this game, the Packers line.
Yeah. And even then, like in the first half, the first half was pretty good. The Lions looked better than expected, better than advertised, but like the Ravens Chiefs game was really, really good. Ravens Raiders obviously was really, really good. And then the opening game really kind of set the tone for that Cowboys Bucks. So I think props to the NFL for being able to make better schedules on those primetime games.
Yeah. And then one thing I'll say one more thing about the Ravens defense is I think they did a great job covering Tyreek Hill. I mean, he only had 3 catches for 14 yards or something. They did, like I was saying on the previous podcast, they did the exact opposite of what the Browns did. They actually double teamed Tyreek Hill, which, as you saw, leaves Kelce open and leaves Hardman and Pringle open. But like, I'd rather have those guys catch the ball than Tyreek Hill go for a 75-yard score.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job with that. I think that's Marlon Humphrey again, super physical corner, who does a good job against everyone really.
I agree. Yeah, like because we were talking about this in the last episode. Like you said, like Tyreek Hill, he's game breaking. If you can take him out of the game, you're gonna have a chance. But taking him out of the game is so hard because of all the other weapons that the Chiefs have. But like this is probably the system that a lot of teams are gonna have to adapt. being able to have a safety kind of shadow the side of the field that Tyreek Hill is on and be able to put your number one corner on him and just have to deal with that. And then you're just gonna have to figure out the rest, kind of improvise on what Travis Kelce and the rest of that Chiefs offense can do. Because Travis Kelce had a really, really good game because he was mostly on single coverage with guys like Patrick Queen, who Patrick Queen is really, really talented, but he can't hang with Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce is just it's so weird to me. Like when I watch him play, it's not like he's fast. I mean, he just runs like he knows how to maneuver the defense so well, especially zone coverages. He knows just how to like slide into the zone.
Just sit in the zone. Yeah.
And then when he gets the ball like after the catch, I'm like, man, he just makes everyone just look like stupid out there. I mean, he stiff arms them. He like kind of does a little like mini jump over another corner, and then I mean, I don't know what he really does that keeps him not tackled forever. But he's so good at that.
It's insane. I mean, something like he was on the broadcast last Monday talking about this, like on the Peyton Manning and Eli Manning broadcast, which I should say is freaking excellent. ESPN, I don't know why I'm kind of getting off topic here, but I want to just get this out. ESPN does such a great job marketing everything in football, but when it comes to basketball, they suck, and it just makes no sense. Like they're doing this thing with Peyton and Eli is such a great idea.
Yeah.
And I just need to give them props for that. But Travis Kelce was on that podcast, or not, but he was on the broadcast for that, and he said he's like Mahomes and I just have a connection. Like I will know where to sit, and it won't even be the play that was called. Like if I see something open, I'll go there, and he knows that as well. So I can just sit in a zone that's open when it's not even the play, and Patrick Mahomes knows, and he'll get it to me. Which is, I think that's just an insane chemistry and an insane connection to have between your two best players. Like that's so crazy.
He's so smart. And I think now we'll start kind of previewing next week's games. We're gonna keep a tally of our picks throughout the season, see who does better. So week 3, Thursday night is the Panthers Texans. I think we probably have the same pick.
Yeah, I think
pretty obvious.
The Panthers, especially with Tyrod Taylor injured. I don't think Tyrod Taylor looked really, really good.
He did
before he got hurt. I feel so bad for him.
They could have beat they were hanging in there with the Browns.
Yeah, I think that if Tyrod Taylor stays healthy, that game is way closer. Yeah. Like it was 14-14, or Texans might have even been up when he got hurt. And man, I feel so bad for him. But I think Panthers have that game pretty easy. Yeah,
the Panthers look good.
They do.
To start out the year, that defense is just filled with a bunch of freaks on there. Athletic. Sam Darnold looks really good in the new system, which I'm happy for him. Just everything looks good about that team. DJ Moore looks amazing. McCaffrey looks amazing. That team could definitely be a playoff contender. All right, so the next game, 10 a.m. game, our time. I hate these 10 a.m. games.
Oh my God, waking up is so annoying.
And when the Broncos had a 10 a.m. game against the Jaguars, and it's like, I want to watch Red Zone, but I also want to watch the Broncos, and I can't really watch both at once. But this game, Chargers Chiefs, I feel like should be a more primetime game, but whatever. I mean, I think this will be a good game. I know I'll go with the Chiefs here, but
I think I'm also going to go with the Chiefs. I think Chargers look good. They've been competitive. Their defense looks pretty good. Their offense had some really great stretches in that Cowboys game, but I think I can't pick against Kansas City many times. I think just overall they have a better team, but it should be close. I will say I won't be surprised if the Chargers make it a really close game, and if they end up pulling it out, because their offense against Kansas City's defense, that's not the greatest matchup. So I'm gonna go Chiefs.
I think Herbert's his first career game was against the Chiefs, and he looked great in that. I think that'll be a great game. The next one I see listed here is Cardinals Jaguars. Probably
Cardinals.
The Jaguars are probably going to go 1-16.
They look really bad.
Yeah, they kept the game close in the first half against the Broncos.
He honestly played pretty good. I was actually surprised
Yeah,
at how good
yeah.
he played. Like how good they
Trevor
looked.
Lawrence looked great in the first half. He threw a beautiful go route to Marvin Jones for the
Mhm.
touchdown, beating Kyle Fuller, who's just been kind of beat this entire season.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cardinals for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Next game, Bears Browns. I think. Well, I'm kind of excited. Maybe
Was this gonna be Justin Fields' first start? I'm pretty
it
sure,
could
right?
be. It could be. I don't know the severity of Andy
I
Dalton.
mean, they Matt Nagy put out a like in his he didn't I don't think he showed up to like the press conference. He just like sent a PR rep. I don't know if this is true. I think this is what happened, but he just sent a PR rep, and the one statement that he made was Andy Dalton when healthy is a starting quarterback, and like that was it.
Yeah,
But he's not healthy.
yeah,
Like I think they said it was a bone bruise in his knee, which is
yeah.
still pretty bad. So
It is.
I think they'll go with Fields. They should go
Yeah,
with Fields.
they should. They should.
Yeah, but
Hopefully so.
I think regardless, I think Cleveland will probably win.
Yeah.
Probably will pull that out. But I'm excited to see if Fields does start. I'm definitely going to tune into that because I really want to see how he plays in the
He
football.
played pretty well yesterday, coming in after Dalton was hurt.
Yeah.
I know the stats look really iffy for him, but there was a touchdown dropped by Allen Robinson, and then a few more passes that were just
Yeah.
dropped.
I think with a full week's preparation of being the quarterback and being able to like know that you're going to be playing the whole game at QB, I think that'll help him out. I think he'll definitely look more comfortable than
Yeah.
he was the last couple of games.
So we'll both go for the Browns as well. And so the first 4 games we have the same 4 picks. This one, Washington football team against the Bills. I assume we'll have the same pick here too.
Yeah.
Going
These
with
are not the greatest matchups.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Maybe
probably go with the Bills. Bills
Washington.
look really good.
Washington's always kind of dangerous because of their defense.
Yeah.
Really, their defense. I mean, the Giants kind of. I mean, it was kind of wild how they kind of tore them
Yeah.
up.
Maybe it's just Daniel. That was the first time Daniel Jones has ever lost
Yeah.
to Washington.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just him. But I think Bills looked really, really good. Like their offense looked really good because I know they struggled against Pittsburgh, whose defense is really good, but Miami's defense is still really, really good. And they put up 35 on them and it made it look really easy. So I just taking that momentum, I'll probably go Bills. But I gotta say, Taylor Heineke looked really, really good against the Giants.
Yeah, he did. And Josh Allen really hasn't looked amazing yet. We'll see if he changes that against Washington. Colts Titans. This is probably the best matchup so far.
Yeah.
Right here, and I think.
I want to say Colts because they have been really close against 2 pretty good teams, and they're gonna go against another good team. But I want to say Colts. I think they're gonna be very motivated to win a game.
Is Carson Wentz healthy though? Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, man. If Wentz isn't healthy, then I have to go Titans. Dang.
We're doing this pretty early. We don't know much about.
Yeah. We're doing this Monday,
right
after they announced that he sprained both his ankles. I don't think he'll play. I think if they're smart, they won't play him.
I'm gonna say if Carson Wentz starts, I'm going with the Colts. I think their defense can hold the Titans, and I think the Titans' defense is just so bad. I think the Colts can score all over them. So if Wentz starts,
if Wentz starts, I'm on the same boat with you. I think if Wentz starts, then he'll win. But if without him, if they start Jacob Eason, I gotta go Titans. So I'll put Titans as my definitive pick.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I gotta go to. I'm like choosing like both teams here. All right, I'm gonna just go. I mean, it's 2 sprained ankles. No way he plays.
That's like 2, like 1 maybe. Like if it was his left ankle, so it's not his plant foot, then maybe. But if it's both, like how's he gonna throw? I don't understand how he's gonna generate any power.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm looking at the news right now. It just might miss Sunday's game, so we'll see. Saints Patriots. This could also be a good game. I wonder who would be favored in this. Let me actually see. I should probably read out the spreads. But the Patriots are favored by 3. And they're at home, which means Vegas thinks they're 2 even teams. If they played on a neutral field, there would be, there would be no favorite. So Patriots favored by 3, and I think I will go with the Patriots here.
I think I'm gonna go with the Saints. Honestly, I think I think Mac Jones has looked pretty good through 2 games. He's been kind of dink and dunk, but he has been pretty steady overall. I think last game he really looked like just he looked like an NFL ready quarterback, but he hasn't really looked like that big play available. And I think Sean Payton is going to be able to go into a game like this and know that they're going to be a little cautious with him, with Mac Jones. Patriots play calling to be a little cautious just to get him comfortable. So I think the Saints defense is going to pick it up. It all depends on Jameis Winston though, because Jameis looked incredible in that first game against the Packers. He had 5 touchdowns, but it looked really bad against the Panthers. So it depends on how good Jameis Winston plays, but I'm going to go with the Saints. So our first different pick.
I'm going to go with the Patriots just because I think the Patriots defense is so good. I know they played a rookie quarterback last week, but they're always good. I think their corners are good. I think everything about that defense is good. I think they'll be able to lock up the Saints. We'll see about the Saints like injury situation. I think they had like 7 defenders out last week or something like that.
Yeah.
And I know they were missing like 5 assistant coaches.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of coaches. Yeah.
So I don't know what they're.
Yeah, we'll have to see health wise. This also just goes back to the injury thing. Like it's been so many already through 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Making these picks is a lot harder, but I just for right now I'm just gonna go with the Saints.
Yeah, and I'll go with the Patriots. So next game, Falcons Giants. The Falcons look really bad.
Yeah, both teams don't look. Falcons. The thing I thought what was like a lock was that the Falcons offense was going to be good, but the Falcons offense looks terrible.
Good, I know.
I think PFF put out that I think there's 2 quarterbacks who haven't made one big time throw yet.
Oh, really?
I don't remember who the first one was, but Matt Ryan was the second. And like without him, their offense is just very bad because they don't really have a run game.
I know they don't really have an O-line.
Yeah, they don't have a run game. Their O-line's pretty bad. They have, Kyle Pitts who looked pretty good in the last game. Calvin Ridley's number 1 receiver material. But if Matt Ryan is playing as bad as he has the first 2 weeks, they don't. And their defense has always been really bad too.
Defense is probably the worst in the league.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's so bad. So yeah, I think let me see how much the Giants. No, Giants are only favored by 3, but I think the Giants like defense can stop the Falcons offense, which is their strength.
Yeah.
So.
This is probably going to be the least viewed game of the week. That like I laughed when you announced it. I was like, wait, really?
I know. And the Giants will probably, anyone can score against the Falcons. So the Giants are going to be able to score against the Falcons. I think the Giants should be favored by more than 3 here.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, both the Giants there. Next game, we've got Bengals Steelers. I think I'm going to go with the Steelers, kind of obviously.
I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to go Bengals.
You're going to go Bengals?
I'm going to go Bengals because they won their first game. But they haven't looked crazy good in either game, but they played a really good defense in Chicago. And they almost, like if Joe Burrow doesn't throw 3 picks on 3 straight passes, they probably win that game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think that offense still has a lot of potential to get to. And I know the Steelers defense is pretty good, but I think this is a real gut check game for the Bengals because if they don't win this game, then I think if they don't show that they're a competent team, at least in this game, I think Zach Taylor is going to have a lot of questions about his about his job security because he really he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a young coach and everything, but I'm going on a limb. I'm going to go Bengals just for the upset.
I really think the Bears should have blown the Bengals out. I think they would have if Andy Dalton. There's nothing against Fields, but I think if Andy Dalton was in the entire game, they would have blown out the Bengals. Like you said, like Bengals could have been in it if Burrow didn't throw 3 straight interceptions, but also the Bears could have blown them out if Fields didn't throw a pick 6 or.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a pick 6 or really close to a pick 6. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with the Steelers. They're more experienced team.
They're definitely more of a complete team.
Yeah.
They're definitely the better team.
I'm
not picking the Bengals because they're a better team. I just think that the Steelers really do tend to play down to their competition.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just been a staple of what Mike Tomlin's been through. I don't know how they've always been able to do that. So I just think it'll be closer. I think the Bengals miraculously pull one out.
okay. Next one, Ravens Lions. Ravens are
Yeah.
favored. Let me assume by like 14 or something. Let me see. They don't even have it up yet, but I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, same.
Uh,
Like Lions have looked better than I expected.
yeah, Jared Goff has looked a lot.
Jared looks really good. He had a touchdown today to TJ Hawkinson.
Oh
That
yeah,
was absolutely beautiful. It was a perfect throw. And also TJ Hawkinson has looked really, really good through 2 games. He's
yeah,
kind of asserting himself as one of the better tight ends in the league. But yeah, I just got to go with the Ravens. Ravens they looked good through 2 games. And I think theirs more complete.
yeah, they are. Goff didn't really look very good in the second half of the Packers game at all.
No.
And I think that Lions defense is not good at all.
Yeah.
Down there with the Falcons probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah, both going with the Ravens. Next game, Jets Broncos. I know the Broncos are favored by 11. Actually now it's moved down to 10.5, but I'm going with the Broncos.
Yeah,
Too.
I am too. It's going to be the first home game, which is good. Broncos always are able to sell out a team and then sell out a stadium. And that stadium always gets super rocking. I think also the Broncos just are a better team.
Yeah,
It's so refreshing to see a Broncos team that actually looks good on offense.
I know that can actually move the ball.
Yeah, like Teddy Bridgewater. I saw this. Teddy Bridgewater has the most throws of 20 yards downfield in the entire NFL, which is just like ridiculous because that's not at all what he's known for.
Yeah.
Like I knew that he would be more aggressive than he was last year in Carolina. I didn't think he'd be this aggressive. He threw so many deep balls against the Jags. I was shocked. Like I was actually shocked that he threw those.
Yeah. And I love that he has confidence in Sutton now. Like I think Sutton is completely back. He almost had 200 yards. I think 170 or something.
Yeah, he should have had 200 if they would just call the freaking PI.
Yeah.
But
Or if they didn't commit the PI. Yeah. The Broncos look good. The Jets look bad. Zach Wilson had a really rough game.
Yeah.
Hopefully he continues against the Broncos. All right. Next game, Dolphins, Raiders. We'll see. Tua is probably out for this one.
I think it'll be Jacoby Brissett probably starting that one.
Yeah. Well, it says he's only day to day, but
I think it'll be. It's a rib injury, right, for him?
Yeah. Either way, I'm picking the Raiders.
I'll probably pick the Raiders. I think if Tua was completely healthy, I think it would be a close game. But with the way the Raiders have been playing, I find it hard to pick against them. Their offense just looks incredible.
Yeah. And their defense really has looked.
Yeah, their defense has really, really stepped up. I think Max Crosby is criminally underrated. He's crazy good at rushing the passer. Yeah. He's become a really good, complete all-around, really great football player this season.
Yeah. Next game. Buccaneers Rams. This is. There's one game coming up that might be the game of the week, but this is at LA too. This is a good game. And
is this a Sunday night game?
No, it's a 1:25 kickoff.
Why is this not Sunday night? What the heck?
I don't know. The Sunday night game is Packers Niners, so that should be a good game too.
Oh, 2 good games. 2 good games. Man.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I think I don't know how Tom Brady's doing it, but he's leading the NFL in touchdowns. He's 9 through 2 games. It's just stupid. He does not look like is 44. My dad was 44 like 7 years ago. Not in a million years would I imagine him doing what Tom Brady's doing right now.
Yeah.
Like it's just I find it's hard to pick against Tom Brady. I am definitely going to be tuning into this game. That is
crazy. It is really hard to pick against Tom Brady. The Buccaneers are favored by 1 single point, so it's a toss up. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm just gonna go with the Rams just because they were my pick in the NFC, and Stafford looks pretty good, and the
Yeah.
defense looks good.
I will say this: the Buccaneers defense hasn't been as good as it was last year.
Yeah.
They definitely have had some holes pop up. Like Cowboys have a really good offense. I wasn't really surprised by that, but the Falcons, they still put up 25 points on them, and they had it as a game in the third quarter. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win because their offense definitely has been more consistent than the Bucs defense has been so far. But I just think in a big time game, primetime game, I think I can't bet against Tom Brady.
I hate picking against Tom Brady, but I'm just gonna do it so that we have different picks. And the next game, really the rest of these games are pretty good. Seahawks, Vikings at Minnesota. This is
I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings win because they should have beat the whatever they're called, the Cardinals.
Yeah. And they should beat the Bengals, so they should be 2-0 right now. They're 2 plays away from being 2-0, really.
Yeah.
Which is it's ridiculously unlucky. And they have a really hard schedule. The Vikings do. Man, this is a tough one. I'll go Seahawks.
Okay.
I don't know. Seahawks are just a better team right now.
Yeah.
But like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings win this one.
Yeah. The Seahawks, by the way, are favored by 1 point as well. So another toss up there. The Sunday night game, like we said, Packers, Niners. This is going to be another great primetime game, I think.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. This one's tough. Packers look really, really good today, but it also could have been just because they're playing the Lions.
Yeah.
But the Niners play the Lions, and they look really, really good until whatever happened in the last half of that game.
Man, this one is tough.
This is really tough. I think I'm going to go with the Niners.
Really? Okay.
I think I'm going to go with the Niners because the Niners defense, I think, is a better matchup against the Packers offense.
That defense is definitely Super Bowl caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna pick the Packers.
Is it in Green Bay?
No, it's at San Francisco. So.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. This is
like
gonna be a really good game.
Both like the weak points of each team are like going against each other. It's like a weak offense in San Fran against a weak defense against the Packers, and then the strong offense of the Packers against the strong defense of the Niners. I just think the Niners, man, I don't know.
The Niners offense looked really, really good against the Lions, which is and the Packers offense looked really, really good against the Lions, but the Niners offense, they only scored 17 points against the Eagles, and the Packers offense only scored 3 points against the Saints. So against a common denominator, they look really even, but against other teams, they've been kind of lackluster. So I don't know. I just think the Niners are a bit more of a complete team right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick the most talented quarterback of all time.
Yeah,
win that game.
That's gonna be a really good one.
Yeah, and then the Monday night game is Eagles at the Cowboys. Whew, another tough one.
Yeah,
I guess I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. Jalen Hurts looked amazing in the week 1 game, and then he didn't look good at all against the Falcons. We'll see. I mean, it's like I don't know about Jalen Hurts. I mean, he has these like flashes of potential and stuff, and then all of a sudden he can't throw the ball again, and then I don't know.
Yeah, he's definitely very talented.
Yeah.
But I think kind of like Lamar Jackson, his legs are, I think, his best asset right now. But the Eagles system isn't really built for that. It's more built to get it to the playmakers instead of the quarterback being a playmaker with his legs. So yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I think I'm gonna go Eagles, because I think that Cowboys looked really good against the Chargers. But if not for some. Yeah, they look good against the Bucs too, but I think, I think the Eagles defense is pretty underrated right now. I think their front seven is really, really good.
But they just lost Brandon Graham.
Yeah, that is true. God. I'm gonna go Cowboys. I'm changing it. what I was gonna say is that the Eagles front seven is really, really good, and I think that for Dallas to win, they're gonna have to have a strong rushing attack, just so it opens up a lot more for Dak, because I think that the Eagles secondary is a little lacking.
Yeah, the Eagles defense only held the Falcons to 6 points, and then they held the Niners to 17. So, I mean, that's two not very good offenses. But
yeah, but yeah, I'll go Cowboys on this one.
Okay.
But I think Eagles still have a little bit more to prove. But I think that'll be a good game too.
Yeah. So we just have two different picks. I picked the Packers. You picked the Niners. Or do we have three? I picked the Rams. You picked the Bucks. And then I picked the Patriots. You picked the Saints. So, yeah, those are our three different ones. Oh, and I picked the Steelers. You picked the Bengals.
Yeah.
We got four.
Different ones, yeah.
That's good.
I mean, most of these games were like matchups where it'd be a huge shock.
Yeah.
If the other team wins, like if the Texans beat the Panthers, I'm gonna be like really shocked. Or
if the Jets beat the Broncos.
Yeah, if the Jets beat the Broncos, I'm gonna throw myself off a building like that. Yeah. That would be so sad.
I know.
Oh my God. I don't even want to think about that.
I know.
I think the last time the Broncos were double-digit favored was against the Giants in 2017.
Oh, really?
When the Broncos were looking like crazy good and the Giants were like 0-5 and it was Sunday night. Yeah. And then
the Broncos right now are the most favored team. They haven't added, what was that one that was really obvious? They haven't added who? Let me see.
Was it the Lions one?
Oh yeah, Ravens Lions.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know what the spread is going to be on that one. Probably like minus 10 for the Ravens or something. So
yeah,
I think the Broncos are going to be the most favored team this week. We'll see what happens. Zach Wilson, like even though he threw those 4 picks, like he's going to have one of these like breakout games. I'm just hoping it's not.
I pray it's not against us. Oh my God. So I remember Gardner Minshew kind of had his breakout game against us.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I was just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Leonard Fournette was running all over us too.
Yeah. And there's also that game where was it Nick Mullins and George Kittle had their like breakout game. I was like, oh my God. Like it happens against us. It's just
I know
it's just the Denver sports curse.
It's gonna be so inevitable, dude. Zach Wilson throws 4 picks yesterday. He's gonna end up throwing like 3 or 4.
Yeah. No,
I trust our defense this year.
I do. I think Pat Surtain looked really, really good in his first start.
Yeah.
He obviously had that crazy pick, but just in general, he had really good coverage. But I think losing Josie Jewell is a much bigger loss than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
And I think Justin Strnad looked good filling in. I didn't even like notice a difference in terms of how it looked. So that's an encouraging sign. But Josie Jewell in the run game is one of the best in the league. So I think that'll be an interesting substitution to watch.
And I think that'll wrap it up for episode 2 of the Sideline.
Yeah, I also just have one more thing to say. Today is Monday, the 20th. October 4th is the first Nuggets preseason game, which is just ridiculous to me because I feel like the season just ended.
I know. I was just thinking about that today. I'm like, I saw the thing about, I think the season starts in exactly 1 month. Maybe I saw that yesterday. I forget. But it's like, really? I feel like I was just watching the Bucks Suns.
Yeah, like that's crazy. So
yeah,
we're going to get into basketball more, which I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about this season for the Nuggets. But I just wanted to say that like 2 weeks and then it's preseason already it just doesn't sound right.
And we might talk a little baseball. I guess the race is heating up.
Just gotta say I want the Reds to make the playoffs, but I don't think it'll happen because the Cardinals refuse to lose.
I know.
But
the Cardinals keep winning. I hope the Blue Jays make the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope Blue Jays make it. I hope it's Blue Jays and Reds as the second two. But I also want Nolan to make it because I like him.
Yeah, I just don't like the Cardinals. And I also hope the Giants win the division. Rockies play the start series against the Dodgers tomorrow. It's that course though where we've been amazing.
Oh,
But I
best
bet
home team in the league.
yeah, I just can't wait until Max Muncy, hits 3 homers in that series and
And
Cody
Will Smith,
Bellinger.
Will Smith hits
Yeah. Oh
like
my God.
800.
Chris Taylor. Yeah. Cody Bellinger is gonna break his cold streak against us.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It baffles me that the Rockies, we've been like since like mid-April, we've been above 500 team.
No, we've been a better team than the Padres.
Yeah, which is just hilarious. Like
Yeah.
if we weren't the worst road team in like MLB history through like 2 months, we would have easily been in the playoff race.
I love seeing the Padres lose.
Yeah, that's
even though I don't really care about the Padres like before this, just because they were so bad. But now that they're good and now that they're in our division, I just love seeing them.
Especially because their fan base got super, super cocky last year.
I know.
And he's like, please stop.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that will do it for this one. We're gonna start ramping it up with more sports content, which I'm excited about. But yeah, so a good week, good week 2. Hopefully a good week 3 coming up as well. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks for tuning in. This one will be going up on YouTube as well as Anchor and Spotify. So make sure to check out those. So yeah, my name's Rishi.
My name's Asher.
And thanks for watching.
Peace.